I was going to say, I just realized in this conversation that we're having that I actually had this conversation with CS like years ago in New York. I started my acting career doing, Charlie was the lead of the very first play that I ever did, professional play I did in New York. And then I went and I did something like a dozen plays back to back to back to back, or sometimes like 2 at a time over the course of like 2 years. And we had a couple conversations, and a couple of them were, again, with Charlie. And at one point, I was like, hey, man, I'm thinking, do you really think I need to go to grad school? Like, you know, and we kind of had this thing, and he's like, well, yeah. He's like, but, you know, it was the same thing. He's like, if you are doing all this, now I was dead broke and starving at the time as well, but he was basically like, you're basically doing what grad school is. Like, you're just working, you're getting, you know, you're not eating very much, but you're you're getting all that work in. And so he's just like, and it was an interesting conversation because I didn't wind up going to grad school, but because I felt like I had gotten enough training and experience over that period of time where I was like working all the time and stuff like that.
I remember our Aaron's debut on stage. You know, I had the lead, and this was when I looked over at Aaron. This was his look. And I had to look at that face, and I'd be like, it's okay, it's all gonna be good. Just be with me.
And how about for you, Ellen? Everyone else has talked about studying or training beforehand and stuff like that. How did that happen for you?
Definitely. I mean, I think education is really important. If you're learning, then, you know, that's great. I think you should learn something every day. You know, be the best person that you can be. And for me, I mean, I'd always known that I wanted to get into acting, but I was always fascinated by the other side of the industry too. Like, how do you have this idea, this concept in your mind, and how do you get that on the screen? So I actually went to school and learned the business side of film and television, and majored in that, and minored in English as well. So and started working in the industry from the other side of it. I actually worked at production companies. I PA'd. I worked at local networks and. In Toronto, and did that, and that actually opened up my eyes a little bit more and made me understand, what is it that people are looking for? What is it that we are lacking? What is it that we need? You know, and so I think that in a way also made me a better actress. It made me more aware of what I needed to kind of put out there and show. So I didn't really get the formal training in acting that sometimes I think I really wish I could have done that, because I feel like I really want to practice more and keep doing it. But I mean, luckily with Scott Pilgrim too, I also got to work with an amazing cast. And so from that, just being on set and learning from everybody there, it was an experience I couldn't have, I learned so much on that. And I think that's the thing. It's about getting dirty. It's about getting being hands-on and just going for it. And I think that's what it is perseverance, persistence, and as long as you really want to do something and you're passionate about it, there should be nothing stopping you, regardless of if you have, the educational background for it or not.
Can I add something to that? When I went to grad school, when Charlie went to grad school, we didn't have things like YouTubes and flips. And so that's a whole different element to today that I think is really important to think about, because, we paid a lot of money to go to grad school, but if you have the desire and you have a flip camera and you know how to use YouTube and upload it, that's grad school. It really is. I mean, and it's free. So you can be a filmmaker if you have the desire, if you have the time and you have the capability. And you don't even have to have the capability. You can be terrible. It doesn't matter. And but you'll get better the more you do it. And so I would say that that's an avenue that we didn't have that I think is really crucial to everyone in this room.
Just like any good Asian parent, go to school, study, and work really hard, and you'll find success.
Well, but I think what Daniel's saying is also like, and I feel like your learning curve is so much steeper and faster when you are actually working, and the other thing about working, and the other thing about grad school, I'm actually trying to find. It's been a while since I've been in an acting class, so I've been trying out acting classes in Los Angeles recently. And the thing that made me realize is that the other thing about learning, whether you're on set or in a classroom, when you get to work with someone like Michael, it's also being inspired. Like if you're an artist, like you don't want to be in an acting class where the other people aren't challenging you or inspiring you. Or you that's the great thing about grad school. You're there with 20 people who are you know are awesome. You know what I mean? So all the work that they do, all the work you do with them, you're learning from them. They're inspiring you, all that stuff.
You know, I think it's interesting that everyone here, you're now seeing them. And you know, San Diego Asian Film Festival has been going on for 11 years now. And yet you're seeing them, some of these faces for the first time. But as we can see through all these discussions, that nothing is an overnight success. As they say, 10 years to an overnight success. So when Harry came here, 10 years ago, thereabouts, to only now be on a show, to only now have that opportunity to you know, take a shot at that ceiling and take a shot at that goal. 10 years later, does this happen? For Aaron and CS and Ellen and Daniel and myself and Kevin, everything is taking 10 years to that overnight success.
You're totally right, Leo. And you know, Harry, you probably know this. You know, my movement teacher in grad school always told us, you know what, guys, don't worry about it. It takes at least 10 years to become a dancer, to be a real ballerina or a dancer, you know, because I mean, you can be good, but to be a real dancer and understand everything, it takes the time. You know, you must go through that time. And I think everyone, you know, here probably agrees with me, or you will agree with me. You know, I'm still learning. You know, I mean, I will learn until I die. You know, as an actor, and that's my approach on it. And each time I work on a different project or have an audition, I'm learning, and you know, that will never end. So don't get it wrong. You know, we're supposedly the veteran, you know, people up here, but I think we're all still learning. You know, and that's the beauty of this art.